Well, as the vaccination program continues to be rolled out and thousands of people continue to be vaccinated on a daily basis in South Africa, the gap between the first and second Pfizer injections has been increased. Joan Van Dyk is a senior health journalist at the Bhekisisa Center for Health Journalism. She joins us now. Joan, good afternoon to you. So, first, you would have a gap of around 3 weeks between the first and second Pfizer injection. Why did our interval between these two injections change?
So that's because in the phase 3 trial that Pfizer did on this jab, that only tested the 3-week gap. So that's the only data we had available. But now there's growing evidence to support a longer gap than that. And because we have such a restricted supply of vaccines in South Africa for various reasons, whether it's the variant or the manufacturing issues, the idea is to get as many people onto a first dose as possible. So at least you have partial protection, so everyone's got partial protection, and then when more doses arrive, then you get your second dose. And this new rule in South Africa applies to everyone, doesn't matter when you got your first dose. If you've already been scheduled a 3-week appointment, you'll get a new SMS scheduling it for 3 weeks after that initial appointment. But you might be you'll wait until 3 weeks before the new appointment before you get your SMS. That's because by that time there might be new sites available and online that are closer to you, so it's just kind of a logistics issue on the SMSs.
So, I mean, some countries, I think the UK and Canada, extended their interval last year already, but the interval between the first and second injection.
That was basically a gamble that they took. Their thinking was similar, to cover more people as quickly as possible as the variants were spreading, and limited vaccine supply was the international problem. But at that point, there was no data on Pfizer and in any other dosing interval than 3 weeks that they studied. And the company itself actually has said, listen, we only support this 3 weeks. These public health initiatives that governments are putting in place, we understand why, but we're backing 3 weeks. And so in the US, because of the little data available, they did 6 weeks, the UK did 12 weeks, and Canada actually did 16 weeks, with a 4-month difference. So there was no data when those countries made that decision.
So did the gamble pay off? I mean, was it the right decision?
Thankfully, yes, it did. When that kind of system was underway, people were doing research on the effect of that, and luckily, it shows that if you're spacing the doses that far apart, you actually have a 3.5 times stronger immune response, and that was a small preprint that showed that. So that's not a peer-reviewed study. So you have far more antibodies to fight COVID with in that case. Then later there were 2 other studies that confirmed that what the UK and Canada government officials were thinking was correct, because they saw that more deaths and hospitalizations were being prevented when more people had the first dose, when there were few vaccines available. But importantly, all this research all relies on the strength of your immunity and how long it lasts after the first dose, and we don't have a lot of information on how long that actually lasts, which is why South Africa has also sided with the US's more conservative extension, which is to 6 weeks and not to 12 weeks like the UK's done.
Joan Van Dyk, do appreciate the time. Thanks very much indeed. Senior health journalist at the Bhekisisa Center for Health Journalism. In a moment.